Okay, so this is our last class of History 2389, and this is the time that our students are going to reflect on their trip to Barcelona and Paris. So I hope you'll get some good indication of what they experienced and what they appreciated.
Hi, my name is Aisha Mahmoud. I'm going to talk about my favorite aspect of traveling to Barcelona and Paris. I really enjoyed the metro system there. It was a lot easier to move around in the city than it is in Houston. I was really excited that I understood how to move around in the city. I also learned that you shouldn't judge a place before you get there.
And hello, HCC. I'm Elizabeth, and I obviously also went on the trip. And I feel like my favorite part was less about where we went and what we did, but the experience that we had together as a group, because I feel like it's important that we realize that even though the little quirks that we have are funny and adorable when we're together for a couple hours, but once you're together for a week, things aren't as funny. And so I feel like, yeah, it was a lot nicer to learn that sometimes you just have to relax and be nicer to people and all that stuff in Paris or Barcelona than in Houston.
It's a good trip?
Awesome trip.
Good.
Hi, my name is Paloma and this is Stephanie, and we're going to talk about our reflections on the trip. One thing that I really liked about our trip was that we had everything planned out, so we did a lot of things in 8 days. Another thing that I really enjoyed was the street performance I participated in Barcelona. That was really fun, and we actually have a video of it. And
my favorite thing on the trip was seeing like real life history. I studied a lot of this stuff in Dr. Wilcox's Western Civilization class last semester, and it didn't really seem real until I went to Europe, and whenever I walked into the places, I pretty much just like freaked out immediately, because it was just really cool knowing that that stuff is real and you can go visit it and it's beautiful in person. So that was my favorite part of the trip.
So good trip?
Yes.
Bonsoir. I'm Charlie, and this is Evelyn and Ingrid, and we are going to talk about our trip to Barcelona and Paris. In my opinion, I think that both cities, they were great places to visit. We learned a lot. It was a great experience. But I want to talk especially about two places that I like a lot. They were the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona and Versailles in Paris. I think that those places were like the most beautiful places that I have visited in my life, and I'm waiting to go back to Barcelona to see the Sagrada Familia in 1225 once they finish it. Yeah.
Hi, today I'm going to talk about our experience in our trip to Barcelona and Paris, and I want to say that we gained so much from this trip, so much knowledge and so self-experience. Being able to go to a different country and cities, it was like great, because like you get to like enjoy total different cultures to compare to the way we live and how we transport. You know, it's totally different, and I loved every aspect of it. And you know, it's totally different in a way, like how they do everything by walking. We use a lot of cars, and you know, it's like I feel like we're like more lazy than they are, and I don't know, that's my opinion.
Hello. Well, what I learned about this trip is that I mean, when I was in Barcelona, I was able to, you know, communicate with other people because I know Spanish, well, in English, but Spanish was the language that they would speak, and I was able to communicate with most of them. So like whenever we were going to Paris, I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to communicate with them because they speak French and I didn't know anything. Well, I did know how to say, do you speak English? It was parlez-vous anglais? And as I went on, like I tried to learn more French, and like going to the restroom, kind of the things that, you know, you would want to know to be able to communicate with them. It was kind of difficult in the restaurants whenever I was trying to order food, because not only was I not able to understand what it said, but I wasn't able to like tell the waiter like what I wanted. But there was, you know, a few people that actually speak English, and it wasn't that hard at all. And I really enjoyed the fact that, you know, at first I thought it was going to be hard to communicate, but it wasn't that bad. And
Still enjoyed the trip, even though it was difficult.
So in spite of that,
yeah,
you know,
despite the fact that I thought that it was going to be difficult, it wasn't that bad.
yeah, it didn't put a hindrance on the trip, right? So good trip.
It was wonderful.
Great.
You gonna go again?
Yes.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Nick, and I'm an honors college student. We're just getting back from our trip a week ago. We saw a lot of great stuff there. Probably one of my favorite parts about the trip was learning everything before we went. That really put everything in context. It's like you're giving pieces, and then whenever you're over there, you kind of can piece everything together, and it just makes things a lot more meaningful. I had been to Europe before, but I hadn't really studied what I went and saw when I was over there. So I ended up forgetting what I saw and not really knowing what I was looking at. So this time, being able to go and know things ahead of time really kind of puts things in perspective and helps you appreciate things more, and you remember it more. And it was just a lot more meaningful experience for me. So, and also just walking into some of these buildings, you really get a sense of scale. Like you can see pictures of these things all day and not really realize how massive these things are. And you really can kind of get an idea for why these people built these buildings and the significance and that kind of thing. So that was probably my favorite part.
Hi, my name is Tyler, also just back from the trip. And I've always been really interested in history, so one of the things that I really appreciated about the trip was going somewhere new with a completely different history of their country, obviously. One of the things I tend to find in the course of my education is we really emphasize American history a lot here. So going somewhere else in the world and first off finding just more things about their history than I'd ever learned before, but also they're sort of more international, just the closeness of Europe, the ties between all the countries. You can really see it just in any place you go. Like we went to Saint Denis, and you would see Frankish rulers. The fact that that whole kingdom was overlapping huge parts of Europe. So being able to see go two places and see a history which really encompassed a lot of Europe, I think was a great experience.
So good stuff.
Good stuff.
Entertaining trip?
Most definitely.
All right.
Hi, my name is Nicole Medina. I'm an HCC Honors College student, and it's been a little bit more than a week since we've traveled to Barcelona and Paris. At first, I just want to say I'm really grateful to have been on the trip. This is one of my few experiences that I think I wouldn't have been able to get until I would have graduated from college or have gotten a full-time working job. So to say that I've been in Europe to see all the stuff that we have seen, I'm really, really thankful. One of the things that we did a lot on the trip was a lot of walking. We walked from the hotel to places that would be, I think, hours worth of driving, but we walked them, and we were big troopers on that. But we had an agenda set in mind. Prior to this trip, we had taken classes and studied on museums and certain buildings. But when we just walked, everywhere you went, from the people you've seen to the things that you've eaten and every possible moment that you could have done in Barcelona and Paris, was a learning experience. So I'm glad that as much as we prepared for the trip, there were just things that would surprise you and that you would just learn something new. So it's definitely fun.
Hi, my name is Catarina. I'm also in the Honors College. And going back to these cities second time around, I was able to learn more by seeing them again, I was able to see things that I wasn't able to see the first time. So that for me was a really big, great, exciting thing to experience again. And I always loved subway systems and walking and things like that. It's different from learning about things in a history book and then going and seeing it in real life. That just it re-enters your mind again. And it's like, wow, you know, this is real, and you're here. So
Good trip?
Yes, I would definitely want to go back someday. So, yes, very good trip.
Good food?
Oh, the food was delicious. I would move there in a heartbeat just for the food.
All right then. Hello, I'm Caleb Jonathan Jack Petticrew, honors student, and it's been a week and a half since we've been back from Europe. For me, it was definitely a really eye-opening experience, especially as the videographer for the trip. I really had to be conscientious about what I was seeing and had to keep both eyes open at all times to try and make sure I didn't miss out on anything. And so I really feel like that helped contribute to just kind of taking everything in and just the general overall experience of it. And I felt like it was more immersive. One of my favorite things about it was just that everything there in both cities, Barcelona and Paris, everything there was just beautiful. The architecture, the artwork, the sculpting, everything around, every building, even the banks were beautiful there. I mean, you walked into the Sagrada Familia, and for me personally, it was like a religious experience. Just the sheer, you know, magnitude and grandeur of structures like that, to things like Park Güell and just kind of the serenity of it all. Everything there was just gorgeous, and it was wonderful being a part of all that. And, you know, like other students have said, it's really great, you know, having the prior knowledge and having studied things like this before coming. And that way, when you go and you see it, it's like you're walking back in time. I mean, we went down into a museum in Barcelona, and we got to walk through the ruins of the ancient city of Barcelona, and that was like just stepping millennia in the past and just walking through an ancient city. Things like that it's unforgettable. And plain and simple, the whole trip was unforgettable, and everything about it was beautiful, and I'm 100% you know, committing myself to going again. I mean, loved the trip, loved the people I got to go with, and it was an unforgettable spring break. So, very thankful I was able to go.
So you're a happy traveler?
I'm a very, very happy traveler, and hopefully a more frequent traveler for this.
Okay.
Thank you, FCC!
Merci.